Welcome you all to a short tutorial Meghalya's first MTET channel. So my dear friends, today in this video we are going to focus on paper 1, that is LP English, and today the topic we have to discuss is knowledge about language. So what is our knowledge about the language? How does language helps us to comprehend, to understand, to speak, to listen, to read, to write? So how actually the language functions in our lives, right? What are the grammars we use? What do we mean by composition? How do we construct the sentences, essays? How do we understand the word meanings, the synonyms, the antonyms? All these things all together, we are going to see them under one umbrella in this particular video. All right, so I think let's get started now. So what do we have in the beginning? So, knowledge of language. Knowledge of language refers to an individual's understanding and proficiency in a particular language, including its vocabulary, grammar, syntax, and semantics. Now, you see, when I say I have a very good knowledge of Garo, that means I am very proficient, I am very fluent in speaking Garo, I am fluent in reading Garo, in writing Garo, in understanding Garo, right? And if I say the same thing about Khasi, it means that I am fluent in Khasi, means I am very proficient, I understand, I read, I listen, and I write in Khasi, right? So that is my knowledge because I understand the vocabulary, I understand the meaning of the words, I understand how to adjust or arrange the words in a sentence. I understand the meaning of syntax and semantics. So this syntax and semantics you will see as we proceed later on, right? So this knowledge allows people to communicate effectively, comprehend written and spoken text, and express themselves coherently. So these knowledge and this understanding allows the people to talk, to communicate with one another, to interact with one another in the written form or the spoken form, and express themselves of what they want or they need or they want to convey, what message to the society or to the people they are interacting with, right? Examples of knowledge of language. So what are the example of knowledge of language? Let us see. Number one comes vocabulary. Of course, you know the meaning of vocabulary. Vocabulary means what? It means that you know the meaning of the word. Suppose I tell you poem. So do you understand what I mean when I say poem? Do you understand what I say when I say story? Do you understand when I say football? What is the meaning of the word football? So if you understand, that means your vocabulary is clear. Knowing the meaning of words and how to use them in context. For instance, understanding the cat refers to a domestic feline animal. If I say cat, that means you understand it is a domesticated animal which is of small size, very sharp, very smart, very clean, big eyes, right? You understand all those characteristics when I'm talking about a cat. And if I talk about elephants, you understand that elephants are the mammals, large mammals, big mammals with tusk. They have got the uh, they have got a very very thick skin, large body, so small eyes. So you understand by the word itself, right? Now grammar. Who don't know what a grammar is? So comprehending the rules that govern sentence structure, such as subject verb arrangement. For example, in English, saying she plays instead of she play. So now grammar. In grammar there are lots and lots of things, right? Active voice, passive voice, tenses, pronunciation, noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, conjunction, interjection. So lots and lots of things are there, parts of speech, right? So when I say she play, but to be more precise and to speak in a better way, I will say she plays, right? So this is how we comprehend or understand grammar. We know that in a sentence we have the subject, we have the object, right? So how do we arrange them in a sentence? So that is what grammar is all about. How correctly we write, we understand, we speak, we listen, we read the language that we give enough importance to the grammars, right? Now, syntax, as I told you, syntax will come in the later part of the video. So, understanding the arrangement of words in a sentence, for instance, in English, knowing the correct word order in a question like, what is your name? So, syntax means arranging the words in a sentence which forms a meaning. For example, what is your name? So if I ask you, what is your name? You understand that I'm asking about your name. But if I say, your name what? Of course, this broken English also we understand, right? But still, it is not a correct sentence according to the grammar. So, understanding the arrangement of words in a sentence, if you understand how you should, where to place the subject, where to place the object, then it means syntax. All right, semantics, grasping the meaning of words and how they relate to each other. For example, recognizing that big is an antonym of small. Now, semantics means you understand the meaning of the word, you understand how they are related. For example, when we say dark, the opposite is light. When we say small, the opposite is big, right? So, this is how, or this is what semantic means. If you need more notes on semantics, syntax, simile, all these things, you please ask me in WhatsApp, I'll provide you, right? Pragmatics. See, by the word itself, pragmatics means something to put into action, to put into practice. All right, pragmatism means practice. How will you put that situation or that thing or that learning into your real life situation? So that is called pragmatics. Understanding the social and contextual aspects of language, including how to use language appropriately in different situations. For example, knowing the difference between formal and informal language when addressing someone. Of course, pragmatics means how do you put language into practice. See, in Hindi, of course, we have different way of speaking to elders and different way of speaking to younger ones, right? Whenever I talk to my mother or father, I will call them as aap. आप क्या कर रहे हो? आप अच्छे हो? ये किसका है? ये क्या आपकी कार है? ये क्या आपका बाइक है? ये किसकी टी शर्ट है? ये आपकी टी शर्ट है? I can ask this way. But if I talk to my younger siblings, ये तुम्हारा है क्या? Hey, ये बाइक किसका है? तुम्हारा है क्या? ये लेके जाओ, ये तुम्हारा है तो. This is the way I speak. But in English, of course, we say everybody as you, right? Even to, my school principal, I will call him you, and even to my younger niece, I will call her you. So there is no difference. In Garo also, we have no difference, right? We call as na'a, right? To elder ones also we can call na'a. To younger ones also we can call as na'a, right? So there is no difference. So when we speak language like Hindi, we have to be careful, like how are we putting the words into action. If you call elders tum in Hindi, when you are speaking to somebody, maybe a shopkeeper, and if you call them tum, there are some people who get angry and irritated. So always, to speak in a respectful manner, always say aap. A-A-P, aap. All right, double A-P. Now, idioms. See, idioms and phrases are my favorite. What does it mean? It means something, like the phrase or the, what do we call it? Phrase or the idioms you are using. For example, here it's given raining cats and dogs. It has got no literal meaning. When I say raining cats and dogs, it does not mean that the cats and dogs are falling from the sky in the form of rain. It's not like that. Raining cats and dogs means it is raining very, very heavily. It is raining non-stop. So that we call as it's raining cats and dogs. Suppose if I say, what word should I give you? Suppose if I say it's a cakewalk. So cracking this MTET exam is a cakewalk. Means what? It means cracking this MTET exam is very, very easy, right? Cracking this MTET exam is very, very easy because it's just like a cakewalk. All right, we call it that way. So we put the phrases in between, right? So even I love, these idioms and phrases. phonetic. See, last time also I told you phone means sound, so it has got something to do with sound. Let us see. Being aware of the sounds that make up a language and how to pronounce them correctly. For instance, knowing how to pronounce the word chocolate accurately. See, we call biscuits as biscuit. We called chocolates as chocolate, right? So we should know how actually the word is to be pronounced, right? School, in English it is school, but in Hindi people call it as school. So this is, you know, not the correct pronunciation, right? So you should know how to say biscuits, you should know how to say chocolates, right? Knowledge of language is essential for effective communication, whether it's in written or spoken form, and it varies from one language to another, with individuals often having varying degrees of proficiency in multiple languages. Now, knowledge of language is important. You should know how to read, how to speak, how to listen, and how to write any language. How will you use that language in order to communicate with the elders, with the youngers, with the friends, with the siblings, with the peers, right? Whether it is a written word or it is a spoken word, you have to be careful with your grammar, with your pronunciation, right? Then, with individuals, often, of course, it does not mean that I am expert in English, then somebody else will also be expert in English, right? Not like that. Maybe I am fluent, I am proficient in English, but somebody might be average in English. Maybe I am average in Japanese, somebody might be excellent in Japanese, right? So it is like that. So language can differ from individual to individual. I may be very much excellent in speaking English, but I might be average in speaking Hindi and I might be poor in speaking Khasi. It can be any way, right? Grammar and composition now. Grammar and composition are essential elements of language that help individuals communicate effectively in writing. Grammar focuses on the structure and rules of language, while composing involves the arrangement and organization of ideas in written form. Here are 10 examples to illustrate both. Now you see, grammar and composition, they go hand in hand with one another, right? So they go hand in hand with one another. Now, grammar focuses on what? It focuses on the structure, on the rules, on the tenses. How, why, where, how are we talking? How do we form the sentence? What is the structure? Where to place the subject? Where to place the object? What is the verb? What is the adjective? What is the conjunction used? So these things are parts of speech specifically are related to the grammar. And then composition means it involves the arrangement and organization of ideas. So you see, composition you understand, right? What are the different parts we have in composition? So you know that easy. Composition is very easy. However, grammar is a bit tough, right? Now, when we talk about grammar, we have subject verb agreement. In sentence, she is a subject, right? Sings, action. Verb is an action word. So she sings means subject is singing or performing a task beautifully. The subject and verb must agree in number, which means it should be complementary to one another. Pronoun usage. He gave her, this is a pronoun, her is a pronoun, right? His book. Uses pronouns correctly to avoid repetition. So he gave her is a pronoun, his book. So he, she, they, all these are what? These are all pronoun. I will not say I went to Ashok's house and Ashok is a good boy. Then Ashok have, a beautiful car and Ashok have a beautiful house. Not like that. We say it like I went to Ashok's house and there in his house I saw that he have got the pet dogs, then he have a beautiful car and his house is very brilliant looking. So this is the way we speak. We make use of pronouns, right? We don't call the name again and again repeatedly. Tenses you all know: present tense, past tense, and future tense, and also there are more, right? So if I say I am eating, this is what? This is present tense, right? I have eaten, this is what? This is past tense. And I will be eating, this is what? This is future tense. So understand this basic tense. I am eating means This is present tense. I am doing it right now. I have eaten means I have already eaten. And if I say I will be eating, which means after some time I will eat, right? So these are the differences. Now plurals, of course, you know what are, singular and plural. If I say cat, means only one. If I say dog, means only one. If I say cats, means so many cats. If I say dogs, means so many dogs, right? So this is singular and plural. Conjunctions, you know that conjunctions are the joining words. Suppose I say, all right, so I went to school and, so I am using a word and here. I went to school and I saw that it was a holiday today. So I am connecting two sentences. I went to school is one, right? And I am using a and the and their conjunction, and I'm connecting that it was a holiday. Yes or no? Then I can also say like, I love to drink coffee, but right now I prefer tea. So again, I'm connecting two different words. I say that I like to eat, I like to drink coffee. All right, fine. But at this moment, I want to have tea. So this but is also a conjunction because this is joining two different words, right? Now, composition. Thesis statement. In an essay, a clear thesis statement sets the main argument. For example, the impact of climate change is a global concern. Now you see, you all love to write essays, right? So when we are writing essay, our topic should be such that it covers the entire work or the entire thesis we are going to write, right? Entire thing we are going to deal with. Suppose I give the topic's heading as global warming, then you understand, all right, so he is going to discuss all the pros and cons, the consequences, the cause, the influence, the effects, the good effects, the bad effects, everything he is going to cover in this topic essay global warming. Yes or no? Paragraph structure. Each paragraph in an essay should have a topic, sentence, supporting details, and a conclusion. So, of course, whenever you write an essay, make sure that every paragraph has a heading, which means suppose you wrote introduction. Next, you are writing how does it happen, and next you are writing the characteristics, then again the next features, then again the pros, then again the cons, then lastly the conclusion, right? Transition. In addition, furthermore, on the other hand, a transitional phrase that connect ideas within a text. Now if suppose I say I studied for my exam, therefore I could pass, right? I studied for my exam, that's why I passed. So I am using a word, a transitional word here to transfer from one to next, right? Moreover, this is what you see people saying, moreover. Well, I could, I have done this work. Moreover, tomorrow is a holiday, so I'm free. So this moreover I am using in order to transfer my speech from this to that, right? Transition. Now, parallelism. Parallelism in a list maintain consistent structure. Example, she's enjoying hiking, swimming, and biking. These are parallelism, which means these words are in parallel with one another. Hiking, swimming, biking, right? Conclusion. Of course, you all know what a conclusion is. Whenever we write anything, at the end of the topic, we have a conclusion. When we give a speech, also we have conclusion. When we write question and answers in exam, also we have a conclusion, we have a summary, right? Summary of all entire work in just one paragraph. Suppose I'm writing a topic, an essay on global warming, then at the end of the day, towards the end, I am going to summarize that yes, global warming is a phenomena in which there is a rise of temperature, earth's temperature is rising, like that, so on and so forth. I'll go on, right? Now, sentence construction. Sentence construction involves organizing words and phrases into grammatically correct and meaningful sentences. Here are 10 examples illustrating different aspects of sentence construction. Now you see, sentence construction, of course, house construction means what? Making a house. So sentence construction means making sentences, right? Simple sentence. She reads book. Of course, this is very simple. I'm going. All right, this is all. So these are what? These are simple sentences, right? This is a basic sentence with a subject she and a verb reads. Of course, she is the subject. Who is reading? She is reading. What she is doing? She is reading, right? Compound sentence. He likes coffee, but she prefers tea. It consists of two independent clauses. He likes coffee and she prefers T joined by a coordinating conjunction but. As I told you, that but is a conjunction which, this example I have already given, right? Complex sentence. While I was studying, my phone rang. Now, here you can see there are two sentences, right? While I was studying, my phone rang. Now, while I was studying is an incomplete sentence, right? It is incomplete. Without my phone rang, it is incomplete. But if I say my phone rang, it is still complete, right? It is still complete. But if I say while I was studying, then you are waiting. Yes, then what? So what happened? So what happened next? While you were studying, so what happened? Like that, a question comes, right? But when you say my phone rang, all right, your phone rang, fine, over. It contains an independent clause. So my phone rang is independent, which means even when there is no word while I was studying, my phone rang still has a meaning. But while I was studying has no meaning without my phone rang, right? Now, interrogative sentence. Interrogative, of course, you know, question mark. Whenever there is a question mark, that is interrogative sentence. For example, I say, did you study? How is your preparation going on? What is your name? So these are all interrogative sentence. Imperative sentence. Please pass the salt. It gives a command or request starting with the verb exclamate. All right. So whenever you request somebody or command somebody, you are making use of imperative sentence. Suppose if I say, can you please pass me that spoon? Or please go and shut the door. Hey, please shut the window, close the window, switch off the lights. These are all command. Request can be, may I have your attention please? Or may I have that book please? So these are all imperative sentences. Now, exclamatory, of course, you know what is exclamatory. Exclamation, wow, hooray. So these are what? These are exclamatory sentences. Ayo, we say in Garo, right? Ayo, nadi forever foreja. Roramero again salgamuk. Pony do again salgamuk. Nadin di kita kode pasong jawane. Ayo, nara, mandian. This ayo is what? This ayo is exclamatory word, right? Now, all right, conditional sentence. If it rains, we'll stay indoors. If it represents a condition, if it rains and consequence of will stay. All right. So conditional sentence means it is according to the condition. Suppose like if I say, if I'm fine tomorrow, if I'm not ill tomorrow, then I will go to school. So this is a condition. According to the condition, you will react. Passive voice. See, active voice and passive voice are very easy. Whenever there is a sentence, whenever there is a sentence where, you know, the passive voice is given, then always the sentence will end by the word by. All right, I'm not teaching this one technically. Technically, your English teacher knows this better, right? But just for the understanding, I am telling you, whenever a sentence has got by at the end, suppose the man was attacked by a tiger. So by is at the end, which means this is a passive voice. All right. Suppose I say the tiger attacked the man. This is active voice. But if I say the man was attacked by the tiger, then this is a passive voice. All right. Or if another example, if you ask me, all right, Ashok ate the apple. So Ashok has eaten the apple, or the apple was eaten by Ashok. So first one is Ashok ate the apple. This is what? This is the active voice. But if I say the apple was eaten by Ashok, then this is passive voice, right? So now we have relative clause. The book that I bought is interesting. That I bought is relative clause that adds information about the book. These examples demonstrate various sentence structures and types which can be combined to create diverse and engaging written communication. Now see, if I just say, you know, book, the book, it has got no sense, right? But if I say that book which I bought is interesting, which means it is a relative clause. It is related to what? To the book, right? It is directly related to the book I bought, which I found to be interesting. Yes or no? Now, we have here. All right, let me make it a little bit bigger like this. Yes. So word meaning, I don't even have to explain it to you. It's simple and easy, and by the word itself you understand what is word meaning. Word meaning or semantics involves understanding the definition and usage of words in language. Here are 10 examples to illustrate word meaning. See, semantics. Semantics means word meaning. So, what is the meaning of this word? What is the meaning of that word? So, that is called what? That is called semantics. Right? That is called semantics. So, now let us see what we have here. So, polysemy. So, what is the meaning of the word polysemy? The word bank can mean a financial institution or the side of a river where you can walk. It's an example of a word with multiple related meanings. So, same word can have different meaning, right? If I say bank, means it can be the bank where SBI Bank, HDFC Bank, Axis Bank, Rural Bank, all these can be the example of bank. But then if I say the river bank, then it means the side of the river. The word, the spelling, everything is same, but the meaning are different, right? This type of words are called as polysemy. Poly means many, right? Many meaning. Synonym. So now synonym, antonym, you know, right? Synonym means always the same meaning, different words, same meaning. Antonym means different or it is opposite. All right, suppose if I give you the example of synonym happy, I can say happy also, or I can say joyful. The words happy is different, joyful is different, but both has the same meaning. Yes or no? Yes, right. Or I can say sad or sorrow. These are two different words, but they have the same meaning. Yes or no? Antonym means opposite. If I say day, the opposite is night. If I say night, the opposite is day. Yes or no? We have homonym. Homonym. Bark can mean the sound a dog makes or the outer covering of a tree. These words are homonyms as they are spelled the same but have different meanings. Homonym means the same word, the spelling, everything is same, but the meaning can be different, or we can use them for different purpose, right? If I say the bark of a dog means how the dog is barking. If I say bark of the tree means the cover of the tree. Hyponym. Fruit is a hyponym of apple as it's a more specific category that falls under the broader term fruit. See, here is a typographical error. I suppose it should be like this. Apple is a hyponym of fruit as it is more specific category that falls under the broader term fruits. So it should be apple is a hyponym of fruit. All right. Now hypernym. Hyper, of course, hypo means less, hyper means more. Right. This is the meaning. So hyper means more. You say na that hi you why are you getting hyper? Don't get hyper. Hyper means getting angry or getting excess, right? More. So hypo means less, right? It is less. Now hypernym means what? Vehicle is a hypernym for car and bicycle because it's a broader category encompassing these specific type of transportation. See, when I say vehicle, I can mean it like bus, car, jeep, sumo, everything comes under the vehicle. Yes or no? So it is a broader term which encompasses all the vehicles. When I say vehicle, I can mean anything. It can be a car, it can be a bicycle, it can be a bus, anything, right? Idiom. Kick the bucket is an idiom that doesn't mean literally kicking a bucket but better refer to someone dying. Now you see, idioms and phrases we have already seen on top as well. So now what does it mean? It means that kick the bucket means you don't go and kick the bucket. It means that somebody is dying or someone is dying, as I have given you the example in the first one to what was the example? A cakewalk. That MTET exam is a cakewalk, which means it is very easy, a children's play, right? Now of course it is not so, right? You have to study hard. MTET exam is not easy. You have to study. Of course when you study it is easy. Now collocation. Strong coffee is an example of collocation, as strong and coffee commonly go together. Now you see collocation means the word which go together. Suppose if I say go safe and sound. Now safe and sound, we use them together. Yes or no? Just like we use strong coffee. Or what can be the different words? All right. Get well soon. Now what am I saying? Get well soon. Well soon. These words also go together. Yes or no? Now denotation. The denotation of cat is a small domesticated carnivore mammal. It is the literal dictionary meaning of the word. Now suppose denotation means it is the literal meaning. Suppose if I say tree, and when I go to find the definition of a tree in a dictionary, I will find that it is a living structure where branches are there, the flowers are there, seeds are there, bark is there, stem is there, leaves are there, flowers are there. These are the definition I'm going to see in the dictionary. So denotation means dictionary, or a dictionary literal meaning, right? Understand that. Literally the dictionary meaning, right? Now, connotation. Economical and cheap have similar denotations, but economical has a more positive connotation, suggesting resourcefulness, while cheap may have a negative connotation implying low quality. So now these are the two words. Suppose when you go to Vishal Market, you go to Bazaar India, then or Reliance Trend, then you are taking the jeans and you're checking the price, the MRP, or a 6,000 sometimes, or a 3,000, or in 1,000 you're getting two. So that time you should say, all right, the price is somewhere around 3,000, so I think this is reasonable. When you are using the word reasonable or economical, it means that of course the price is less and at the same time quality is also good. This is what you take with yourself, right? But when you say, all right, this is cheap, cheap actually is a negative word. All right, cheap means, all right, the quality is also not good, at the same time the price is also less. That kind of thing we call it as cheap. No, cheap people are also there. So that type of people and that type of thing, these are negative words. So we teachers, we don't use this kind of words. We say if something's price is less, we will say it is reasonable, or the price is quite economic. This way we say, right? So understanding word meanings include these aspects. It's crucial for effective communication and language comprehension. So now you understood everything about the language, right? Why language is important, why grammar is important, why composition is important. So I think this is all in this video. So thank you everyone for staying connected with Ashok Tutorials, Meghalay's first MTET channel. Thank you.